So good to have you here. I see that Arelis está. Buenas tardes, Arelis. Buenas noches. Arelis says she doesn't speak much English, but I guess she's going to practice tonight. My dear Elvin is here. Hello, hello. And we have others here. Welcome. Okay. My name is Karen Marinez. For those of you who are watching for the very first time, I'm an emotional wellness coach, and I help the exhausted woman to learn how to reignite who she is, learn her passions and what she wants, how to rest, how to focus on her life and not overextend herself to please others so she could feel more comfortable in her own skin. Tonight, we're going to talk about trusting the body's no, how somatic awareness protects us. What is somatic awareness? We're going to talk about all of that. Shawnee Boo, hey, good to have you. So listening to the body can be a new lens on anxiety. We've been talking about anxiety, and listening to the body can help us to identify, hey, Sally, everybody's coming in. Tiff, hey, we have our inner circle member. Hey, Tiffany, nice to have you. Um, what is the purpose? Carolyn, hey, Carolyn. Let me just say hi to everyone as you're coming in. Okay, I think that's it for now. Okay. And then for those of you who are here and you're on your couch and you're like, Karen, I'm not getting in no chat. We appreciate you being here. Or you're seeing this recorded version a later time. We appreciate you for watching. All right. We love people that keep coming back for more because we have so many good things to share. So for the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about anxiety and how to manage it. Well, learning how to be in tune with our bodies can be such a protection. So the purpose of this talk tonight is to explore how tuning into the body signals can help us understand, manage, and reduce anxiety. It's so important. How about this as a question to start out with, to reflect on? And you can put your answer in the chat. When you feel anxious, where do you feel it in your body? Mine is in my chest and in this area here. So some people say it's chest tightness, stomach knots, tension in the shoulders. Some people grind their teeth, or they, you know, clench their teeth, and you can see it here. That nerve starts jumping out. Where do you? Sally says she feels it in her chest. Yes. So keep that in mind because the body keeps score. The body shows us, the body tells us things. It's just for us to be aware of it. Okay. So, Tiff says arms and hands start tingling. Yep. Yeah. So it's so important for us to know that so that we can see the signs. Ooh, chest tightening, something's up. Okay, let me pull back. Or hands and arms are tingling, something's going on. We don't want to just brush past those feelings, those sensations in our physical body. It's here for a reason. It's here to protect us, right? And we want to be aware. Today I was sitting in my car in my driveway. A FedEx truck with very loud music pulls up in front of my house. He gets out, but my house is here and there's another house here, and they're the two driveways. So he could have been coming for this house. So I asked him, I said, is that for? And I told him the address. And he just kept walking. And he puts the box next to my side door, the package, and I'm sitting here in the driveway. I have my door open and my foot outside because I was about to get out of the car. And he never answered me. Hey, Audie's, welcome. And he's coming back to go back to his car. And I said, why? I asked you a question. Why did you leave the package there? He said, because I said, but I'm here. He totally ignored me. He said, I said yes to you, but did you say yes and keep walking? How was I supposed to hear you? You're supposed to stop to listen to a lady, to respond to a woman. And then I could tell he was like probably, under some type of influence. And then he said, you look upset. I'm very upset because I'm talking to you and you just brushed past me. So I don't like to be ignored. I know you all don't either, but it's just he was in another world, right? And then he's like, oh, I probably didn't hear you because of the music. Yeah, that's another problem. You're in my neighborhood and you have your music on the FedEx truck blasting. Like, right? Anyway, that was a whole different story. But we don't like to be ignored. No one does. So we definitely should not ignore ourselves. Hey, Fabiola, good to have you. Welcome, everyone. We shouldn't ignore ourselves. So how can we be more aware of our body? Let's talk about the science of it first. For those science lovers out there that like to know the behind the scenes, what's going on in the body, right? There's the polyvagal theory. There are many theories, but this is the polyvagal theory. You've probably heard of the vagus nerve. What does it do? It connects brain and body. It influences anxiety through your physical state. So the vagus nerve originates in your brain stem and it extends downward through your neck, into your chest and abdomen. The nerve branches out to multiple organs, including your heart, lungs, liver, spleen, stomach, intestines, and kidneys. And this vagus nerve is a critical component of your autonomic nervous system, which regulates involuntary things like heart rate, blood pressure, and respiration. All of that's controlled by this nervous system, which is part of the vagus nerve is part of. So the autonomic nervous system has two parts, and you've heard of them before, but we're going to break it down. The sympathetic nervous system, which is fight, flight, or fight or flight, right? It prepares the body to respond to perceived threats by doing what? Increases your heart rate, redirects blood flow to the muscles, and releases stress hormones. Danger, danger. But there's also the parasympathetic nervous system, which does what? That is associated with rest and digest. It helps your body after all of that running, right? Fighting or fleeing. It helps your body return to a state of calm after a stressful event. So after I had that interchange with the guy, like, what is going on here? You passed me, I'm sitting in my driveway, and you put my package on at my side door, not even at my front door, and he's taking the picture, and I'm watching him like, what is he doing? Right? Then my parasympathetic system said, okay, Karen, just rest, digest, right? Recover from this, okay? So we need to make this vagus nerve our friend. We need to be aware of it. Why is it important? Because it's the connection between the brain and the body. Here, we want to think about this. We're used to thinking that our thoughts cause anxiety, but oftentimes our bodies feel it first. And that might seem strange because, like, what? My body feels it first, but if we're not aware of our body, we don't realize that these things are happening. What are some physical changes to the body? Even before our mind is fully registering it, it could be changes in our sleep patterns, either sleeping too much or lying awake at night with insomnia with racing thoughts. Your appetite might either go away or it may be ravenous. You're like, I'm an emotional eater. You're stress eating. Those are physical changes that the body is giving you an alert to. There's something going on. There's some anxiety coming before you're even your brain is aware of it. That's very interesting. Jonique, hey Jonique, we got Dr. Justo in the house. Danielle, hola, hola. Luce, hey Luce. So glad you're here. She said it's intriguing from the first, and we have reignite your radiance, darling. Giordana, nice. Good to have you. Hey. So let's talk about why do we ignore our bodies if it's so important? And our body, right? We're in it 24 hours for every day of our lives. Why do we ignore our body? One thing is cultural focus on overthinking and productivity. What do we hear? Let's get it done. Girl, push forward. Stop wasting time. Get up. Do something. Get it done. There's no time for rest. or self-reflection. Look, you got a job to do. That's what we're told. So we feel a headache, we feel our chest tight, we can hardly breathe, we're overeating, we're doing all the things. We have tingling in our limbs, and the body's trying to say, baby, slow down. Something is happening that's not safe for us. And we push ahead. Gotta do it, right? That's one reason why we don't listen to our bodies. No one taught us to. And our caregivers, we saw them, particularly the women in our lives. Yeah. A second reason is we're disconnected from our bodies because of chronic stress or trauma, right? Total shutdown, disconnected. Brain, body, we're not, it's like we're in the body, but we're not attached to it. We're not aware of it. We ignore her. Let's call her because most of the audience is female. But hey, Elvin, shout out to you. Okay. Total shutdown. And number three is reliance on numbing behaviors. We scroll on our phones. We get the sweets or the salt or both, and we go at that. Substance abuses, alcohol, whatever the drug of choice, right? Or overcharged busyness. So we don't have to think, right? So why we ignore the body? Because that's what we were taught. That's all. It doesn't make us bad people, but it's what we were taught, and we're just following in those people's footsteps, right? But it's not good for us, and it's not healthy, and that's why we're here, so we can learn how we could do better and we could treat ourselves better. We need to, this is important, right? So can you, I lost my place, I'm sorry, give me just a sec. Can you identify what the body might be saying? I'm looking at my notes. um, Here's a physical symptom, a signal that the body is giving: a racing heart. The possible message is, I'm feeling unsafe. And how might your body respond? Breathe slowly, reduce stimulation. This is how we could possibly respond to this message, to say, okay, I hear you. All right, I'm gonna do some breathing. I'm gonna take my time, and I'm gonna reduce the stimulation. Maybe I'm in Times Square. I'm surrounded by people, right? I'm all these people. Or I'm in a big group and I just need to step away, go in the bathroom for a little bit, just reduce the stimulation. Or I'm cooking, I'm got the laundry in, I have the TV on, the kids are screaming. Let me turn off some of these things, right? Something's up. Why do I feel unsafe? Another physical signal: tense shoulders. The body could be telling you, I'm carrying too much. This is too much. This is too much. And we could possibly respond by stretching, taking a break. I'm going to go for a walk, step away from our desk at work, right? It's too much. We literally feel it in our shoulders that we're carrying too much. Isn't that the body is amazing. What about stomach knots? Our stomach is in knots. We wake up and we just push. No, the body's saying, I'm anticipating a threat. Or someone is standing in front of us and our stomach is in knots, or the boss calls us into the office and our stomach is in knots. How can we respond? We can name the fear, then get a reality check. Is it a valid fear? Will this person or situation really do me harm? Sometimes it's not reality, but a lot of times it is. And that's the body's way of saying, please protect, I'm trying to protect us. So what is one way you can listen to your body more closely this week? Think about that. Write it down. If you have an answer, you can put it in the chat. But I'm going to leave you questions throughout this just so that you can think about it. That's a journal prompt. What's one way you can listen to your body more closely this week? We want to get in tune with our bodies. We don't want to be disconnected. That's no good. We're all about learning and growing, right? Learning who we are. Self-knowledge is like such a valuable tool. Okay. And here's another question. How has your relationship with your body shifted in times of anxiety? You may have felt it, but you weren't aware, and now looking back like, oh yeah, this and this happened. I felt this and this. If you have a comment, you could put it in the chat. If not, write it down and think about it. Because then the next time it happens, you can be more aware. We're all about self-awareness, okay? So here's a more detailed explanation. How does the body signal distress? It could be physical symptoms like tension in your shoulders, headaches, stomach aches, or just a general feeling of fatigue. Distress. It could be changes in appetite, like we talked about before. Either you lose interest in food or you turn to gobble, 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 stress eating. It could be sleep disturbances. Either you're sleeping too much or you have insomnia. It could be tense posture. You notice yourself, but there again, we have to be aware. Tensing up. Your shoulders are like this. You're clenching your jaw. You're rubbing your forehead or your temples. It could be rapid breathing or sighing. I'm a sigher. Overwhelm can manifest that way. Rapid breathing or sighing. That's me. Oh, a really good friend of mine years ago, she said, Karen, I know all your sighs mean something. I was like, they do? I was like 21. Really? She said, I can tell when you're hungry. I can tell when you're tired. I can tell when you're annoyed. Really? So that's how my body does it. And why is it important to recognize the signals? Here's why. Because if you recognize the signals, you can identify and address the stress early on before it escalates. And then you have full out anxiety, full out panic attack. But if you get it early, you recognize the signals. It's like, okay, look, I need to pull back. I need to, right? So early intervention is one reason why it's important to recognize the signals. The second thing is self-regulation. When you could pay attention to your body, you tap in, you can practice self-regulation and develop coping strategies. Instead of it getting way over here to a full anxiety, you reel it in, rein it in while it's right here. Self-regulation. Another reason, mindful awareness. When you're more aware of your body's signals, you enhance your overall mindful awareness of yourself. So in essence, listening to your body can provide valuable insights into your emotional state and help you manage your well-being and anxiety more effectively. What inspired this topic? I had a client who talked about a decision she made. She didn't like the outcome. And she was like, how did I get here? What was going on? And when we backtracked, I said, when you made this first decision that got you to this decision, did your body give you? Because as she was telling me the story, just her tone and her body language changed. Yeah, and I said this, and I asked her this, and she asked me that. And I was like, what? That's the body saying, that doesn't make sense. And probably her physical body said something, but I could tell her tone of voice changed, her face changed as she's talking to me. If we can be more in tune with our bodies, had she been more in tune, I'm sure her body, gave big signals. This is not going to be good. It's not going to be good. But she pushed forward because she's not aware. And she said it, I'm not aware. I don't know. And then she got to here and then there. And she was so unhappy. But we want to avoid this. We want to be here and say, oh, no, 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 this isn't a good idea. That's wisdom. But we need to learn the wisdom of our bodies and learn to trust the body's no. So how does somatic awareness protect us? What is somatic awareness? It comes from the word soma, which means the living body in Greek. It's just not as a physical object like this glass, but our body's viewing it as an intelligent feeling system. It's here for a reason. And do we judge my client who said, how did I get here? No, because we all do it. And that's why I said we need to talk about this, because then we can minimize anxiety if we're aware of our bodies. And when our body says no, we say, okay. And we may not even understand why, but we learn to trust it. We learn to trust our bodies. The body doesn't just warn you when you're anxious. It also tries to protect you from unsafe and misaligned situations, or situations that you don't feel comfortable in. It's not you. That gut tension, the racing heart, the sense of unease, it could be your intuition trying to say, don't do this, not this, not this person, not this situation, not this place. No, 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 don't do it. It's trying to protect us. Why does it matter? Because a lot of times we override our body's discomfort. For what? To please others, to meet expectations, or avoid conflict. When I was talking to, she's like, yeah, I didn't want to disappoint this person, right? Usually, because we're not looking at ourselves, it's all about pleasing other people, meeting their expectations, avoiding conflicts. It's all right, just so I don't have to say no, or I'll just go along with it. And we suffer in the end. So that's why it matters. This disconnect from our bodies. Remember, it's a living, we're living inside of it. It leads to burnout because we don't know when to stop, chronic stress, anxiety that seems random, but it's usually suppressed emotion, suppressed self-protection, because we're disconnected. So we need to learn to trust the body's signals. And boy, when we do, we could prevent emotional, physical, or relational harm. Oh, it's so beautiful. So in essence, what is somatic awareness? It's about cultivating a deeper connection with your body and using it as a source of information about your inner experience. Because I could be with this person and they don't bother me, but you could be with that same person and your alarms are going off. It's okay that it's your experience. It's your body, and you're the one that will have to live with and handle and suffer the consequences if your body is saying danger, danger, no, no, and you push ahead and you go ahead with it. Or it could just be the body saying, I'm tired, I want to rest. But we have a goal. It's our boss, it's this, it's our spouse, it's our children, and we push, 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 and we end up in the hospital. Or we have chronic migraines, or we have stomach issues. Remember that vagus nerve? It goes from the brain all the way down to the stomach. That's why stress affects us in such a negative, unpleasant way, because it's everything is connected from the top to the bottom of our bodies. So it's your experience. I feel uncomfortable. It doesn't matter that this person next to me could be my best friend. She's okay with it. I'm not going to subject myself to this because I care about me and I put my needs, what my body requires first. I didn't used to do it, but now I do it, right? That's where we're going. That's the goal, to care for ourselves enough that we pay attention. You ever seen a child and they're pulling on the mom's, mommy, mommy, right? They go right to the pant or the skirt and they're pulling, and you would feel sad for that child if the parent is just doing whatever. And that could be your experience. The parent is on the phone. I've seen I'm driving, I'm turning into a street, and a mother is pushing a stroller, a busy street, pushing a stroller with the left hand, and she's looking at her phone with the right. I couldn't believe it. Disconnected, even from her child. So if our parents were disconnected from us, we're pulling, pulling, and get that, right? They shoo us away. Could that be that that's why we do it? One of the reasons, right? Let's get more in tune. Let's pay attention to ourselves. Why does somatic awareness matter for anxiety? When you're somatically aware, you can catch signs of anxiety before it escalates, and you can do regulation tools, respond with regulation tools like breath, movement, grounding. We'll talk about that a little later. You can actually be proactive for yourself before the anxiety escalates. I have clients who have ended up in the hospital. They're in the emergency room thinking they're having a heart attack, and it's a panic attack. The doctor doesn't even bother. They do the test, and then ma'am, you're fine. They don't even bother to say you're probably having a. But when you can become aware and read the signs that your body's saying no, and you listen, literally like, okay, it works out better for us. What can the body's no feel like? Again, tight chest, that doesn't feel safe. A sick stomach, I'm not comfortable with this. Shallow breath, I'm bracing myself, something feels off. Jaw clenching, shoulder tension, I'm suppressing how I really feel. And how many of us suppress our emotions and thoughts? Numbness or just shut down, this is too much, too fast. Well, this is not for me. To be aware of ourselves as we're shutting down, huge, because a lot of us are walking around numb and shut down every single day. We're not in touch with ourselves. And you see how they talk about politicians. They've never lived paycheck to paycheck. They don't know. They've been rich all their lives. They're not in touch with the people and their needs. Well, how about we be in touch with ourselves and our needs, our body's requirements, and we get in touch and unnumb ourselves. So here's something else to think about. Here are 3 questions you could put in your journal. Have you ever gone along with something your body was clearly resisting? That's a deep question. We all have. There's no shame around here. We all have. Here's the second question. What was the cost of not listening? Sometimes the cost is costly, it's expensive. And number 3, what does your no feel like in your body? I'm going to tell you my no. If you could share that in the chat. What does your no feel like in the body? Mine is, I feel it like something's choking me. If I want to do something that I don't want to do, somebody's asking me and I feel it. When I'm trying to overexert, trying to do too much, I feel it. I never noticed it before I started doing this emotional wellness work. I promise you, I never noticed it. Once I started getting in tune with Karen Michelle, that's when it's amazing. And when we know the signs, when we listen, it's like, okay, look, and I talk about, I promise you, I know it feels like I'm about to do this and I'm going back to the overload that I used to, but I promise it looks like that, but I'm not going to do. There was a certain activity I participated in my volunteer work before the pandemic. And it was overload for at least 3-4 times a week I would participate in it. And it's a wonderful thing, but it can be very physically taxing. Plus, I wasn't eating right, so I'm exhausted, right? Exhaustion on top of exhaustion. So afterwards, when I wanted to go back, I felt, and I'm like, I'm not going to do all the rushing. I'm not going to do as many hours with it. I promise you, I'm going to space it out. It's not going to be 3 or 4 times a week, and maybe once every other week, right? And I literally had to talk, like, it's okay. I promise you, I know we're not going back to that life. No, I know that was wild and crazy. We're not doing that. Don't you worry. We have to talk to ourselves. But you talk about liberation when you know your body signs and you're like, oh, okay, all right, I hear you. So here's the reframing the no, because the theme is to say no. When the body says no, it's not fear but wisdom, because sometimes we think, oh, I'm just being dramatic, that's just how I am, or I need to push through, or we say, well, everyone else is fine with this. It could be a certain area. It could be a certain restaurant, a certain place. And there's just something in our gut or a person in which, I'm not feeling this. Doesn't matter what the group says. Pay attention to your body and don't just brush it. Oh, I'm being, no, no, no. Listen, it's wisdom. So we want to reframe that no and say, my body might not be trying to sabotage me. My body is probably trying to protect me. And it will be wise to listen to the no. So you say, okay, Karen, all right, but how can I practice trusting my body's boundaries? Because a boundary is a clear no, and the body's saying it. How do I get in touch with that? Here, I'm gonna give you some tips. One, micro check-ins. Before you say yes to something, and this is what I was discussing with my client when she was all the way over here, and she's like, oh, it was horrible. From this point, what is my body saying right now? When I had that thought to do this for my friend, what is my body saying right now? Is it tight or is it relaxed and open? That's a micro check-in. Number two, the expansive versus the contracted test. Does this decision feel light and opening or is it heavy and shrinking? Do I feel like this or do I feel like this? At the thought of doing this or hanging with this person or answering this text, whatever the thing, these are ways so we could practice trusting your body's boundaries. It's getting in touch. What am I feeling? Number three, somatic journaling prompt. Here's another prompt. A time I didn't listen to my body's no, what happened? A time when I did listen to my body's no, what changed? What was different? I know I just felt happier, more relaxed, in tune, like, hey, girl, it feels great. It's such a protection. It's like the cars that when you're backing up, they do beep, beep, beep. Or the cars that have the screen here. And when you back up, the screen comes up and you can see. And when it has a line to show you, all right, stop. You're going to, right? As you park, it's a protection. Number four, practice saying no with your body. Stand tall, say no out loud, look in the mirror, breathe deeply, ground through your feet. See how the body supports that boundary. See what it feels like, not just sounds, but what does it feel like to say no with confidence, to set up that boundary? I'm not comfortable with that. No, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not going there. But if y'all want to go and look, tell me about it later. And then they're like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad you didn't go because this and that. Yeah, I just had a feeling. We have to trust that gut feeling. It's there for a reason. It's just not happenstance. It's a protection. It's a protection. Gio says, truly words of wisdom. Yes. So we want to remember, when did I ignore my body and regret it? When did I listen to it and feel empowered and safe? Wow. So here's something to write down. Your body's resistance is not a flaw. It's information. When you listen to your body's no, you're building trust with yourself. How beautiful. A relationship with yourself, with your body being in tune. Wow, you talk about some power. Knowledge is power, but self-knowledge is power to the 10th degree. Beautiful. Again, your body's resistance is not a flaw because we try to yank it and say, come on. It's information. And when you listen to your body's no, you're building trust with yourself. That's it. So somatic awareness is the ability to consciously notice and interpret the signals, the sensations, and the experiences happening inside your body in the present moment. How beautiful is that? I'll say it again if you're taking notes. Somatic awareness is the ability to consciously, like we're making an effort, we are very aware, consciously notice and interpret the sensations, signals, and experiences happening inside your body in the present moment. And how much better to be aware of it then when it's inside the body instead of it exhibiting itself with high blood pressure, diabetes, some autoimmune, right? All the things when our body starts attacking itself. Why? Because we ignored it. And she's like, oh, I was whispering before. Oh, now I got to get loud with you? All right, bring it. Migraines, fatigue. People end up with chronic fatigue syndrome. It's the body's way of saying, I cannot do this. And you've been ignoring me for decades. I'm shutting down. I'm done. Shutting down. And now we have to recuperate. Let's do it now. Okay, so you're saying, Karen, all right, but what are some ways that I can listen to my body here? I'm going to give you some tools so we can reconnect. Let me take a little drink. How can you reconnect with your body? Because at one time we were connected. As a child, when we felt uncomfortable, nervous, anxious, fearful, we cried. We yelled out as a baby, a toddler. But someone told us, cut that out. Go in your room with that face. You come out when you can look happy. So we learn to suppress. We learn to stop listening to the body, stop trusting the body's cues at a very early age. How sad. But now that we're adults, because we can't go back, those that were raising us, they didn't know any better. They were just doing the best they could with what they had. But now that we're adults, we can do different. So how do I reconnect with me? One, physical grounding, deep breathing, slow and deep inhales and exhales to calm the nervous system. We could do a body scan. You're like, body scan? Notice the sensations in your body. Start from your feet and work your way up. Legs, knees, thighs, and go up. What is my body feeling? Notice the sensation. Do your own CAT scan. Isn't that beautiful? And another thing is engage your senses. We've talked about this. Focus on the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. Identify 5 things you see, 4 things you touch, 3 things you hear, 2 that you smell, and 1 you taste. As I was saying that about hearing, I heard the wind outside. It sounds so nice. I don't know if it's supposed to rain, but it's just relaxing to hear the wind blow through the trees. Engage the senses. That unplugs. It makes a shift when we're shut down and just numb. And of course, we numb ourselves so that we don't feel the pain. But the flip side of it is because we're numb, we can't feel the joy either. It doesn't sink through. It's just, other people are like, ah, and we're just like, eh. Numbing, we use it as a protection, but now we realize it's not. Let's feel the feels. It's okay. We're not going to break if we feel sad because we know what to do with it, how to process the emotion or anger. It's okay. And we process it and we let it go. We want to reconnect. Another way is touch and feel. Touch or hold an object like a piece of ice or a warm cup of tea, right? Movement, take a walk, do light exercise, stretch, getting in touch with our bodies. Water, take a shower or bath, or run water over your hands in the sink. Just feel it, but be aware of it. And earthing, this is my favorite. Walk barefoot on the grass, sand, or soil, or lie down on the ground. If you see me in nature, you see me in front of grass, you will see me barefoot. I have to take my shoes off. Love the sand, the grass. It just sends me someplace that I love being, right? Laying on the ground, I love. Okay. That's the first one is physical grounding. The second category is we can do mental grounding, like affirmations, repeat calming statements to ourselves. My favorite is all is well in my world. Another thing we could do is mindfulness and meditation, practice focusing on the present moment. I'm here. I'm not thinking about what I'm going to make for lunch tomorrow. No, I'm here with you guys now, right? A safe place. Imagine a safe and comforting place. Our imagination is powerful. Use that mind. You're feeling this? Picture yourself in a beautiful, safe, and comforting place. And we can use grounding objects. You can carry a grounding object in your pocket or hold on to something that helps you feel safe, whatever it is. Okay. Number 3, emotional grounding. It could be a soothing touch. Hug yourself. We always want other people to, but we can hug ourselves. You could pet your pet, seek comfort from a loved one. Music, listen to soothing music, or you could create a playlist of calming songs. How sweet is that? Intentional eating, focus on the taste, texture, and smell of the food. This is mindfulness, being present, aware, not just and watching TV while we're, right? We've all done it, but really focusing on it. And comforting memories. We could think about positive experiences and memories that we have. Another journaling prompt is, what is one signal your body gives you when you're overwhelmed? A lot of us are overwhelmed, and then there goes the shutdown. And how can you respond? Notice this with care. How can you respond with care? So if you've been writing this down, or you can view this again, some good journaling prompts to get in touch with you, your body's requirements, what it's asking, begging for, please, what it's saying no to. And now you'll literally say no, because I'm feeling this, or I'm feeling the tightness, or I'm feeling the tingling, or I'm mindlessly eating, I'm stress eating. What's going on? What is it that's bothering me? Or you ask people, what's bothering you? I don't know. We know, but we just don't take the time. So this week's intention, how about we be intentional about saying, this week, I will respond to my body's signal by doing this thing. Does anybody want to share that? I'll tell you, when I feel this, I have a very, very busy week ahead of me. Family visiting, all kind of stuff going on. What am I going to do? I'm going to create a playlist. I like to put on YouTube with the different music, but I'm going to create a playlist of songs that calm me and make me smile. That's what I'm going to do. And I'll play it for myself. But I love giving myself hugs, and I love, having my feet, just no shoes. A lot of times I get out of my car and my shoes are left in the car because I just want to walk up to my house and up the steps barefoot, especially since the weather's gorgeous. Right? I can't do that in the wintertime, so I'm taking full advantage. And my affirmation is, all is well in my world. Love that. It just capsulizes everything for me. Anybody else want to share? Y'all have been very quiet. Quite quiet over there. Let me know if you want to share something you're going to be intentional about. If not, you could share it in the WhatsApp later. Okay. So getting in touch with our bodies, when our body is saying no, we listen to it and we respect the body's signals. That's what we want to do. All right. And we want to be happy. Oh, Gio says she sits on her back porch, and I've been on that back porch. It's sweet. It's a really nice place to be. And just listen to the birds, right? Look at the nature, the trees. It's just a wonderful thing. Let's give ourselves the honor, the respect, and the dignity, and pay attention to our body signals. All right? Everybody have a wonderful night. I will talk to you soon. Alejandro has posted the chat information. If you're not in the chat, get in it. Share information about what I'm doing, teaching, seminars, all the things, okay? We encourage you to join, become a member of the Inner Circle. You just press join at the bottom of the screen. You're very welcome, Luz. And become a part of the Inner Circle, and you can get all kind of good videos and seminars, all included. Oh, Itza, you're here. I don't know, did I say hi to you before? Itza, I don't think so. Hey, glad you enjoyed. Thank you all for staying. I appreciate it. And yes, good night, everyone. Nancy's here. Hey, Nancy. I don't know if I missed it or y'all were just listening and enjoying. Really good to have you all here. Big hugs. Can we please write in our journals and reconnect with ourselves? Okay. Gio, you're welcome. Audie says, thank you. You're welcome. It was a pleasure. Let's get to work. More let's get in touch with ourselves again, our bodies, when it says no. All right. Big hugs. Take care. Mwah. See you next week. Bye.